everyone, and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you two of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now, before we get stuck into that, I quickly just want to apologise for not making a video on today's racing. Unfortunately, I just didn't fancy anything in the end. I didn't fancy anything at Lingfield. I thought Sedgefield would get called off. I didn't fancy anything at Wolverhampton. The only thing I did was my girl Maggie, who in my opinion was slightly too short for me to be putting up, and also as well at Dundalk, nothing took my eye there. So yeah, it was just one of those days where I don't normally have them, where like I said, I just didn't fancy anything, so I rather just have a night off and not do a video for you guys. But yeah, like I said, we'll be back for tomorrow's racing where I fancy two tips. Also as well, I should just point out that we were up in profit for January. I will admit the last couple of days weren't our best, after what had been a resurgent return to form. The early part of the month wasn't so good. We had a good solid middle part, and then in the end it just tailed off a little bit. But I'm not complaining, we've got a nice solid base to hopefully build on going into 2021, and hopefully we can follow up with a decent February. So enough of all the waffle then, let's get into the tips for tomorrow's racing. And we're going to be going with my nap for the first tip of February in the 12:55 at Newcastle, one of the jumpers bumpers card. And to be honest, nothing really was jumping off the page of me except this horse, and that's a horse called Busy Street for Nathan Mosscrop and Rebecca Menzies. Now, Rebecca Menzies is definitely a trainer to keep on side when it comes to these jumper bumper cards. I've seen some of her horses run really well in these kind of races, and they've won at some big prices as well. So they're definitely a yard to keep on side. And this horse, Busy Street, absolutely hacked up last time when he was seen in one of these races. He won by 7 lengths, but he could have won by how many he'd liked. If you actually look back at his form, he's always been a classy horse. He was a good flat horse for Michael Appleby, where in fact he won over the course and distance off a mark of 88. He's now rated £13 lower than that mark, and he was actually meant to be engaged in a race a couple of weeks ago at Newcastle on the flat, and I really fancied him to go well. I remember putting him up a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately he was a non-runner. I don't know why he was, but yeah, he was a non-runner. But I think going to Becky Menzies' yard might just put him in good shape, because like I said, he's been around the houses a couple of times during his career. He'd been with Mick Appleby, then went to Tony Carroll, but he's only been with Becky Menzies for a couple of starts. Finished okay behind a nice horse of Donald McCain's called Manila Drama in a novice hurdle at Haydock, and then on his first jumpers bumper flat start for Becky Menzies went and won and absolutely hacked up. So yeah, there was lots to like about there. He does have to carry the penalty, but I thought, to be honest, this wasn't a particularly strong race. It was about a similar depth as what he ran in last time. At the current time of recording, he's 15 to 8 with bookmakers, which I think is more than a fair price. If I was pricing him, I would have him slightly shorter, possibly up to 5 to 4. Could even go off at shades of odds on tomorrow. I think he'll go in again, and I think he's a really solid bet. So yeah, not a big price to kick things off with February, but hopefully we can get off to a good start there with my nap in the 12:55 at Newcastle. We then go to my last and final selection of the day, which is going to be my next bet, which runs in the last race of the day at Southwell under the floodlights on the 5 sand. We go to the 740 here with a horse called Bruyne horse for Phil Dennis and David Griffiths. Now, I'm no Manchester City fan, but I'm hoping De Bruyne horse can do the business for us, obviously named after Kevin De Bruyne. Actually used to be trained by Richard Hannon, this horse, and I think he was in the colours of the Midland Racing Group. I know they've had a few horses down the years named after Man City players or related to Manchester City. Obviously some of them must support the football team, but yeah, this horse, De Bruyne horse, I thought was coming back to a little bit of form on his latest run, where he ran a respectable 3rd place behind Daffy of Derek Shaw, where he was trying to make all from the front that day over 7 furlongs, and in the end he was just collared in the closing stages. But I thought he stuck to the task really well. Now he's going to be meeting Derek Shaw's rival again, and in that race last time at Seville they were racing off the exact same weight, but tomorrow we get £3 in our favour, which I think could really make the difference here. Also as well, if you go back through De Bruyne's horse's form and take a look at it, he actually won twice towards the start of last year off higher marks in the low 60s. He won off a mark of 61 and 63, so his mark of 54 looks very workable to me. And David Griffiths' team were a little bit quiet, but in the last couple of weeks they've been coming back to a bit of form. Their stable start, or Nate was a winner the other week, so the Yard are coming into a bit of good form now. You can currently back this horse with William Hill at the time recording at 5-1, and I think he can hopefully return to some really good form and build on that promising run last time out. And at 5-1, I think he's a good price, and I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet. So they're the two tips for tomorrow's racing. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe here to my YouTube channel for more videos. Also as well, if you want to follow me on social media, the best place to do so is on Twitter, where my handle is @LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.